What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. Look, I was over here preparing for another amazing episode, but look, I need you guys to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so that you guys don't miss any of our amazing conversations. Have a new episode coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. And guys, I'm back with another amazing conversation and another amazing guest. 4 years later, after our last interview, we are back. But things may look a little different because he's not here with his group mates. He's here as a solo artist. Today on BLK Talk, please welcome Mr. Chris Boyce. Chris, man, welcome to BLK Talk.
What's going on, man? I like this setup, man. It's real intimate, real
Appreciate
cool,
it.
man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. So, this has been a while in the making. We started having this conversation months ago.
Right.
You were preparing to release your single at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Body.
Yes.
Okay. And now, as of right now, yesterday, he just released a new single.
Yeah, man. I'm real blessed, man. 2 singles, 1 year. I feel real good about that as a solo artist, man, because I started from zero, you know what I'm saying, going from the group to a solo artist and working on my streams and getting the numbers up. So it was a journey, you know what I'm saying? But looking back on it, man, I enjoyed every single solitary stream because I counted them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, he started as a member of the hit group Hamilton Park. Although, you know, he's focused on those solo endeavors, like Hamilton Park is still very much so, you know,
we still doing their
thing. Yeah, y'all just had a performance not too long ago. How was that?
Man, that was awesome, man. We got booked in my hometown, Anniston, Alabama. Shout out to Pooh down there at the Live Lounge, man. He reached out to us. He was like, "Look, I got something for y'all, man. Just come down here, give me a show." And what stemmed from that was I was able to, first and foremost, for my solo endeavor, I was able to find a live band situation. And the group is developing reoccurring shows. So right now the group is still on an official hiatus, but don't be surprised if we pop up in your town, you know what I'm saying, and we got a show. You feel me? You're gonna catch some of them old Hamilton Park vibes, and you know what I'm saying, we still gonna rock with y'all. No new music yet. I'm gonna say yet. I know I told you what I told you off the record, but I'm gonna retract that. I'm gonna say yet because I'm hopeful because I know the fans miss us. And I know that essence of what we used to do live is still a void for that. You know what I'm saying? Still room for that. So it's still a possibility.
Now, what I want to know, you know, being a part of a group for such a long time, there's security.
Yes.
There's comfort.
Yes.
You can look to the right, you can look to the left, and you know exactly who's there.
Right.
But when you turn that light off and turn it back on, and now you're a solo artist, it's completely different. Like, it's just you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, for you, as you embark on your solo endeavors, like, how does that feel, and what do you miss about being in the group?
I miss the camaraderie, man. I miss in the enjoyment of sound check, you know, checking into the hotels, the interviews, traveling, following the itinerary with the camaraderie of the brotherhood around you. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, we was kids, you know what I'm saying? So it was just all fun and games for us. We was just literally along for the ride, you know what I'm saying? So now, as a solo artist, I have to pay attention to the business side as well, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm setting up the itinerary that I'm following. I'm setting up my own hotel rooms and making sure that, you know, the promoter is as taking care of all the essentials needed, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just all fun and games, you know what I'm saying? It never was, but I have to pay a lot more attention. And in doing that, I just miss my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And I miss that blanket of the label and the people around you that have the certain jobs that care for whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I do love being an independent artist because it's still very beautiful in itself, you know, being able to be contacted directly, you know what I'm saying? My phone is always ringing as far as people trying to see if I'm able to be booked or trying to set things up through me, you know what I'm saying? So I love the exposure and I guess the middleman got cut out, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really just still enjoying the solo part of it too. It's all new and beautiful to me.
Okay.
You know?
Now, at this point, you've been in the industry for how long?
Man, we going on about 15 now. I say about 15. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Professional. Yeah.
So you've been standing strong in the industry.
Right.
So tell us like how you got your start. When did you discover that like you enjoyed music and music was that thing for you?
I mean, for me, it was a young age. Just started in church. You know, my grandmother, Janie Walker, she used to always take me to church every Sunday and tell me to get up there and sing her favorite song, which was "I'm Looking for My Jesus" way out on the hill. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for my Jesus. And I used to get up there every Sunday and sing that song, and afterwards she would take me to McDonald's for a Happy Meal. Mm. So, and the love for getting up and singing for that Happy Meal from my grandmother grew into so many other things throughout the years. I joined the chorus in school, and that's how I just really learned how to just theorize the music and really just, you know, get it down to a science and learn the notes and how to breathe. And really I took vocal lessons in school, you know what I'm saying? So by the time I was of age and the opportunity for the group came, I was literally ready for it. I was already vocally trained. I was not scared to get up in front of people. So I was very seasoned when that opportunity arose.
So did you ever have like those moments of fear? Like when the group came, you said you were there, you were ready, you were trained. Yeah. But like when you first started, like what were those thoughts, like the fears that you had?
When we first became a group, you know, because I'm from Hamilton City, Alabama. That's a small town. So coming from there to being, I would say, thrusted, using the word because that's how it felt, into the opportunity of being the lead singer, the face. We want to make sure that you have a verse, and we want to make sure that people see you. Me, naturally, I was kind of shy, you know what I'm saying, coming from where I came from, but it was a thing where I had to stand on business, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, and just go ahead and do it, you feel me? I wanted to make sure that I was representing my family and my town well, you know, so the opportunity came and I just ran for it. Okay. As scared as I was, because I looking back on it, I can admit now, like, yeah, I was very fearful of the situation, but it was either flight or fight, you know, or go home, and I did not want to go back to Alabama without conquering it, you know what I'm saying?
And 15 years later, you still in the game.
Yeah, still here.
But look, like, y'all didn't just start off regular, getting together, singing. Like, y'all came out the gate, and you guys had the opportunity to work with one of the biggest names in music.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Right.
So tell us about that experience with Mr. Andre Harrell.
Yeah, Andre Harrell came through like a breath of fresh air, man. We were, at that point, we were already a group for like, I'd say 7 years. We had been working together for a long time, you know what I'm saying? We was recording with Duke Williams. Shout out to Duke, you know what I'm saying? He was our king producer at the time, you know what I'm saying? He was our go-to. And we were doing shows all over Atlanta. You know, we had been up to the radio station a couple times. We had toured the CW building down a few times. We was all over different clubs and whatnot. And, you know, we had built a name for ourselves. And Andre Harrell had came down. He was doing some scouting. And he went by the radio station. And shout out to Maria Moore. She told him about us. And he happened to have been with Yancey at the time, who was one of our co-managers. And he was working for the label, and, you know, he was making sure that Mr. Harrell had everything that he needed in Atlanta. And she was like, well, you with one of their managers right now. So he turned to him and he said, why you didn't tell me about these guys? Where are they at? And he drove Mr. Harrell to our home at the time, where we all lived together. And he checked us out. He fell in love with us right there on the spot. He said we reminded him of Jodeci.
Wow.
Yeah. And he stood behind us. He got behind us, and he got the label to you know, fit us in on the roster at the time and put us on tour. And I love to tell that story because I'm very fond of Mr. Harrell, because he said yes when everybody else said no, or it was like we'll get back to you, or, you know, because at the time R&B is still in a certain state right now, but the label didn't really know what to do with 4 young, handsome black men that could sing that way. And Mr. Harrell was trying to tell them, like, look, these guys right here, take care of them, hone them, keep them together, let's develop them. You know, but R&B was in a different space at that time, so we had to, it was a lot of turbulence going through the label and everything. But at the same time, shout out to Atlantic, because they took care of us the best way that they knew how. So I'll never say anything bad about Atlantic at all. You know, I loved being over there, man. Shout out to Mike Muller, Katie, and everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was a great experience. Julie, everybody, yeah.
So what would you say your time working with Andre Harrell, what was your greatest lesson that you learned from him?
Andre's always used to say to us, he always used to say to us, make your strengths, of course. That's easy to do. But make your weaknesses your strengths too. And what I was able to take from that over the years is what you're good at, you're gonna be able to do when you're asleep. You ain't even gotta worry about that. Still worry about it. Make it a strength, develop it, but focus more so on what you know you need to be better at and develop that into a strength. And I carry that with me every day. And and the things I used to run from as far as like, oh, I'm gonna worry about that later because I know I'm not the best at that. It makes me slow down and be like, okay, learn what you can learn right now and come back to it. So I'm very thankful to be able to have rubbed up against that mogul, Andre Harrell, and he put out Jodeci Guy, Heavy D was his first artist, Albie Shore, Mary J. Blige, the list goes on, and to be able to be poured into for that small amount of time by somebody like that, I'm very grateful for, eternally grateful for it.
Yes. So the group, you guys accomplished some amazing things. You guys worked with some amazing people. Now, what part of your entire journey with the group do you feel prepared you to be not only the solo artist that you are today, but the man that you are?
Whew, that's a good question right there. I just feel like just the business aspect of how we always carried ourselves throughout the artist development phase. It was a thing to where we had to govern ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We had to. I like to reference college. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're in high school, if you skip school, you might, the school might call your parents or whatever, hey, such and such didn't show up to school today. Just want to let you know, was everything good at home? But in college, you paying that tuition, that's coming out your pocket. If you don't go to school, they don't give a damn. They're not going to call you. They're not going to check up on you. They're going to make sure they pull that money out that account. But as far as anything else, that's on you. And I look at life that same way. You know what I'm saying? You have to make sure that you do the work for yourself, govern yourself. And I feel like the group taught me that because we were colors. That's the illusion that was given to us through our development space. Like when the Captain Planet, when the four rings come together, you get the Hamilton Park, the Captain Planet, but you got to be earth, wind, water, and fire. The best earth, the best wind, the best water, and the best fire. Don't slack. Be your strength. Be who you are as an individual in the group. And I feel like that taught me a lot, because when it comes to being a solo artist, I feel like I have to be Anthony. I have to be Marcus and Royce and myself all at the same time on stage. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we were for as in Hamilton Park as a group. You know what I'm saying? You might not have been the best this or the best that, but us together, we all look good on stage. So now as a solo artist, you have to be all of those things.
Now, who is Chris in the group compared to the other guys? But then who are you right now on that stage by yourself?
I feel like in a lot of ways I'm the same. Chris' voice was always the smooth, the suave, the laid back one in the group. But when it came my time to shine, I would shine bright. You know what I'm saying? I was the mover, I was the dancer, I was the person who would just jump out in your face and then step back and let everybody else do what they needed to do. But when it came to playing my role, I was playing my role and knowing it very well. And I feel like that is the same way I am with my solo and my personal life.
Okay. So, Body kicked off 2020, what year? 2023.
2023.
Right now, the new song, Thank You X?
Thank You X.
Now tell me about that.
Thank You X. Well, let me give me a drink. This Revanche right here. Shout out to him, man. Revanche. It's French.
We're going to talk about that one later. We're going to talk about that. What he been working on.
Let me wet my whistle right quick. All right. You want to know about that Thank You X? All right. Shout out to Links Connect, man. That's a producer from Alabama, actually. He's out here in Atlanta. He's been out here for a long time. One of the first producers that we came across is Hamilton Park. He did work for us. And then finding out that he was from Alabama, when we were a group and I was a young kid in the group, I was really impressed by that. That was my first time seeing somebody step out and take their music to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and be out here producing for different people and whatnot. So I was really impressed. And so I kept links in my back pocket, in the back of my mind, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And as a solo artist, I reached out to him and I told him, I was like, I need some records. I need something hot for the summer. And he gave me that beat. And the hook came, you know, the beat came with the hook. And it was like, okay, you know, it's a song about me pretty much saying thank you to your ex-boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Because he messed up and now you with me. Yes, you know, so definitely go check out the record. It's it's not a diss record either, you know what I'm saying? Because when you hear it, it might sound like that, but it's not. It's just me genuinely saying he fumbled the ball, you know what I'm saying? So I hit the plug and I ran off. Now I got you, you know? And I'm saying thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to your ex because, you know, I got you now.
Now, have you had the opportunity to perform the song yet?
Yes.
Now, how was that?
That was amazing, you know, and it was a thing to where I could, and the song literally, I performed it for the first time literally days before it came out. And I had the crowd singing Thank Your Ex. I was like, they want to thank your ex for this, what's up? Saying that. They want to thank your ex for this, what's up? And it just kept rolling off of people's tongue. You know, they just, the whole crowd was singing. I can't wait to put that reel out, you know, because I record a lot of my own content. So I try to space it out and whatnot. But definitely, man, the record is real catchy. And I saw that for myself amongst that crowd that had never heard it before, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, is there a video coming? Like, what's the
Most
concept?
Most definitely. I was thinking, now look, I'm a visionary when it comes to them concepts. I don't even want to, because I might go a different way with it, so I don't want to give you my concept and then somebody be like, oh, I haven't seen nobody do that yet, so I'm going to take it.
How about this? At the end of this conversation,
right,
you guys are going to get his social media
right,
and every way you can find him.
Right.
So that when the concept actually happens, y'all can see it and not just hear what it's going to be.
Right.
Just see what, you know, what's up in this creative mind.
Right. Because I've been doing a lot, man. We didn't speak about this, man. I stepped into acting, too.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's crazy, but, you know, COVID came and you know, they pushed the acting scene from LA pretty much over here in our backyard, you know? So I was able to meet a lot of people and pull up on a lot of movie sets. And I did some background work on Praise This with Chloe Bailey and Quavo and Drewski and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
it's on Peacock.
Peacock, yes.
Peacock, yes.
So when I got the call for that, shout out to Brittany Passion, man. She's a casting agent out here in these streets. She's doing wonderful things and she's looking out for the people that she comes across. So I was on the Praise This set and she happened to have been there too. It was a real small little intimate scene. If you go and watch Praise This, I'm in the studio when Chloe Bailey and her cousin goes to Quavo's house or whatever. There's a party going on and Quavo's recording. Me and a couple of other people who are his posse were standing in the studio when Chloe walks in. And so from there, they looked at me and they looked at Quavo and they were like, we need you to come back to this particular set. And I can't speak on it because the movie hasn't come out yet, but we want you to do stunt double for Quavo, photo double and whatnot. So I was able to work with Quavo for the latter half of 2022. I worked with him all the way up to November, I believe. Now, to be honest with you, I worked with Quavo from July of 2022 all the way up to November because it was 2 movies that we did back to back, and I did stand in for him on one movie, and they pretty much just transferred me straight to the other movie with him, and that's where I was able to do stunt double work and photo work with him.
That's crazy. Yeah. So like, you're not just a singer, you're not just a songwriter. Like at this point, like you are an entertainer.
Yes.
And like entertainers on like a completely different level.
Different plateau. Right.
So like being on set for movies, like how does that differ from being on the stage? Like what's the difference in excitement that you get from the two?
I feel like I'm able to step outside of myself and be somebody different. You know, when I'm doing my acting classes and whatnot, and that's something that I learned from
classes, y'all. That mean he is taking this serious.
You have to take it serious, man, because and even when you step out there and you get on those movie sets and you see those people lock into their scene the way that, man, it's amazing. You know, we're sitting here laughing and talking and stuff, but when it's time to shoot that scene, that emotion, that full engulfment comes out when that action is called, and you can't just cut that on and off. I mean, technically you can, but you have to take those classes in order to understand how to do that. Tap into what you need to tap into. I'm talking about people crying on the spot, yelling out, crying out. We don't have to shoot this scene too many times because you killed it. Versus somebody who doesn't have any training or anything like that, being thrown to the wolves. Just go out there and read this like a cold read. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that a couple times too, and that's how I realized, I got to get out there. It's not the same thing as being on stage and being that same person. You know what I'm saying? I know you see some actors out there that's always themselves in movies, but, you know, Will Smith is not that. Jamie Foxx is not that. Denzel is not that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a thing to where you, like, there's a total separation between that particular actor. And I love being in the naive space, just be completely transparent, because I know I'm going to grow from there. Yeah. You know, because I mastered figuring out how to move in the music realm and being able to have success, so to speak, in the film side. And I'm just eager to learn everything I can, eager to learn the people to talk to, the people to stay in contact with, the maneuvers, the proper terms and etiquette on set, how to maneuver on set, you know what I'm saying? And getting an agent, you know, taking the classes. That's when I realized it's serious. It's real out here in the field. These people are still taking classes every day. I'm talking about people that you've seen on $1 million films already touch the pinnacle. Somebody's in an acting class right now. Because they have to be.
Always perfecting that craft.
Always perfecting that craft.
Always something new to learn.
Right.
You are never too experienced and too old to learn.
Right.
So what would your, like, dream role be?
My dream role? Woo! That's an awesome question, man. And it's crazy because I don't want the dreadlocks to prevent that, but I don't think it's possible now, because, you know, shout out to the Dirty D, you know, I'm on there too, by the way, on Tubi.
Okay.
The Dirty D season 2, I got my first speaking role on there. I play Low, and, you know, they got a couple of police officers on there that have dreadlocks and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind playing something like that, being able to step totally outside myself. But if I could be completely transparent, any sort of action situation, preferably with zombies. I'd like to do a scary movie too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I've actually stepped into the writing space too, because out here in Atlanta, it's a whole lot of independent film writers and filmmakers and whatnot. And I definitely took some advice from another actor, Landon Brooks, down in my area. He was the doctor on The Last Bad Boys, the one that came out there and got Will Smith, and I think he gave him CPR or something like that. But that's Landon Brooks. He's from my area too. And we were really proud of Landon when he did that down in my little city. We packed the movie theater out just to see my boy for 2 seconds, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how we support each other. We don't care about that shit, man. You know, because it's all about making sure that you leveling up, you know. And they do the same thing for me down there when I got the little part on Dirty D. Shout out to Lisa Brown, by the way, the director and the writer of that series. I drove up there all the way from here because I saw she had posted auditions. So I fell in love with the first season. I had watched it on Tubi in its entirety. I liked the way it was shot. I liked the script. I just loved the whole situation about it. And I was like, when people see this, they're gonna like this. I wonder if the actors or if the writer, if anybody's tangible, if I can contact anybody. And it just so happens that when I found the director, she was holding auditions for season 2. So I jumped right in my car, drove up there 14 hours.
Jeez.
And I was there 30 minutes before the auditions opened. So I was number 1. So I went up in there, did my cold read, told her my story. She gave me a part on the spot, you know, and not just a little part. If you go and watch the season 2, I'm in 3 episodes. You know what I'm saying? So that's my first speaking role. So now I am officially an actor. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Okay. Yep. So now I gotta go add the Dirty D season 2.
Season 2. Yeah.
To my list.
You have to.
After I watch, what am I watching on Tubi? I don't know, something.
But some independent film that's very good, because there's a lot of those on there for real.
And there's a lot of them that's kind of questionable. So we gonna watch the good one.
Right.
So we gonna watch the Dirty D season 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've worked with a lot of people. You've done a lot of things. You're telling me about the acting now. Like, that's an amazing thing.
Right.
But you also talk about home a lot.
Yeah.
You talk about support.
Right.
Which is an amazing thing.
Yes.
Now, for you being a creative in the music space, in the film industry, producing and things like that, like for you, how important is support? Not only from those people out in the world, but from the people that are like close to you.
Support is very important, man. If I can just be completely transparent for 1 second, because I was speaking about this earlier today. Support is more important than people realize. Support is more than a like. Mm-hmm. Support is more than a reshare. Support is more than a view. Shout out to all those ghosts out there on the profile that the views are going up, but the likes are not. That's not how you support. Mm-hmm. You got to do it all. Tap in, support the merch, do everything. And shout out to my fellow independent artists. We got to stop doing this too. When we don't feel support, we got to stop letting people know that we don't feel supported. We got to stop letting people see us sweat. We got to just keep going, keep moving, keep motivating. I don't care if you had a show somewhere and you expected 100 people, but 2 showed up. You still need to perform like those full 100 people showed up, and it's wall to wall in there, because now we got Instagram and social media. Mm-hmm. So that content is king, not who was there and who wasn't there. But your real supporters got to know that they got to do more. So supporters, you got to do more out here, man. You can't just be out here sharing and liking one time, and like go above and beyond, because that's what they was doing for Michael Jackson, James Brown, and all those artists that are greats right now. That's what they was doing. They didn't have social media at the time. So when James Brown performed, if you wanted to experience that, you had to go. Yeah. That's why I wanted to build my show how I built it, with the live band and with me interacting with the crowd very much. You know what I'm saying? I watched the greats like James Brown. Erykah Badu is really, really good at that. She's really interactive with the crowd. And I love the more intimate venues too, the more closed in venues where we can be close together. Mm-hmm. You know, because I do a thing now on stage. Hamilton Park always did it, but I took it and I made it my own now. We gave out roses and whatnot, because we were always calling ourselves the connoisseurs of love with the music and how we treated the women and whatnot. So Chris Voice definitely does the same. I'm giving roses out. I'm trying to make sure that my experience is a whole vibe. I hired a pole dancer, and I don't like necessarily saying pole dancer, because when they're on the art side, it's not pole dancing. It's just a vertical pole and they're doing the acrobatics on it. So I had somebody at my show doing that same thing. And it was a place called The Camp in Huntsville. This is my first time creating that experience. I've been working on it all year. If you go back on my Instagram, you follow me at Real Chris Voice, you'll see that I've been really just putting music out and perfecting my image, craft, and everything about myself. So what we did was we were finally able to bring all those things into life with this show, and it worked so good, man. And I was able to open up for Ray Lavender, of all people, for this show. You know what I'm saying? And it was a dope experience too, because me and Ray was able to connect. We got a whole song right now, already locked and loaded, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting on the producer, Jay Hotz, to come back with that mix.
He watching.
To come back with that mix, so we can get right, man. Me and Ray ready to drop, man. But just being able to do things like that, and just snowball and just keep the ball rolling, and I still speak with my former managers. Mm-hmm. Now they're advisors. Okay. Now they're like, yes, that's great.
So it's important to keep those relationships.
Most definitely. We don't burn bridges around here. You cannot burn those bridges. But back to what I was saying about support, because it's very important. You have to make sure that you don't let people that don't support you see you sweat, man. Just keep going, keep doing your thing. And supporters, step up, man. You have to. And that's the only time you're going to hear me say anything about that. Because every time you go to my profile, it's going to be business as usual.
Now, I'm glad that you circled back around and went to that, because I've seen artists out here who have taken to their social media platforms.
And what they do?
In a way that they felt was vulnerable.
Right.
And
don't do it.
I'm not going to say they cried about the lack of support.
No. They cried. It was woe is me. You don't have, woe is me. I don't have no support, but I'm telling you right now, independent artists, you don't want that type of support either. You don't want sympathy clicks.
Yeah.
You don't want those sympathy reshares. You don't want those. Because I'm telling you right now, the only repost and the only support you want is organic.
Now, with that being said, like, when is it okay for an artist to be vulnerable?
Oh, it's okay, but just don't be vulnerable about that. Be real. Please stand on business.
Real versus vulnerable.
Yes. No. Be real, but not vulnerable. Be real and vulnerable, but you don't need to be letting people know that you don't feel like nobody listening to your music. That's a little too, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Because you have a product to sell. When wasn't nobody eating McDonald's burgers, you did not hear about nobody not eating the McDonald's burgers. They was just selling them.
Yeah.
Business as usual. Keep it going. That's what I'm saying. But please be real with your supporters and be real with your fans, because that's where the organic support comes from.
Right.
With you exposing yourself. But yeah.
Okay.
I know it, you know, for somebody who probably is like, well, how can I do that without doing that? Well, trust me, you have to find that balance. But with you finding that balance is you finding yourself. So do that.
Standing firm in your product and knowing what you're out here selling to the people.
Right.
So when you went home, you not just at home just chilling around with everybody that you grew up with.
Right.
You actually are a businessman.
Right.
At home.
Yes.
So tell us about some of those ventures that you are in Alabama.
Man, right now, you know, shout out to my studio, Powerhouse Recordings. We've been in business for maybe like 6-7 years now. Man, and that is beautiful for me. You know what I'm saying? To be coming up on a decade of business in a town that I grew up in, having the city support, you know, clients coming through on a regular basis. I have sessions later on this evening, and I'm so blessed for that, you know, to be able to be entrusted with people's music because they see how I maneuver with myself, and they know that I record myself. So I'm not going to record you just no any type of way.
Yeah.
And I keep my studio very commercial, a vibe that's, because, I mean, let's just, you know, Alabama's not Atlanta. It's a little bit smaller. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have to keep things a certain way for us to have a certain vibe. And I wanted to always make sure that as soon as I was able to get us out the closet, you know what I'm saying? Because I started recording at my grandmother's house. If you record with me, you know what I'm saying? And if you record at Powerhouse Recordings, you know that that's a very commercial space right now. I just redid it, just repainted in there. Me. I didn't hire people, didn't hire no workers or anything like that. I did the work because I want my energy to be in there, dripping off the walls when you walk in there. Okay. I want you to feel me. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I could have easily just hired somebody to do it, but I want you to know that I painted that. I redid this. I stood in here one day and I said, you know what? My clients deserve better. Yeah. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make it happen right after the thought that I had. Now I'm gonna go buy the materials and I'm gonna paint. It took me a day.
See, when you're a businessman, a lot of people say, I want to do this. But then as soon as they drop the idea, they're automatically looking for other people to fill different spaces within their company. Right. But like me personally, I feel like you need to be involved with every aspect, especially in the beginning.
Yes.
Now for you, having a studio and doing the painting and doing the work, like, how important is that for you to be involved in every aspect?
It's really important as a creative and as a businessman, because if you're an artist, and just like a lot of artists come to me and I see the potential, and what I want you to also understand is I'm a businessman, so I'm gonna pour into you positively. I'm gonna tell you things from a business standpoint. I'm not gonna tell you things from a personal standpoint. I'm gonna tell you what I've seen works. And what you do, I feel like if you try this, it'll go this way for you. And when people do decide to tap in and take that advice, and they get those results, they always come back and they be like, Chris, you was the one. You told me to do this. You told me to do that. Like, no, don't thank me. Thank the universe, because you moved when the universe told you to move. All I did was give you the play. You moved, and the universe set everything else up. So you have to be able to just maneuver, man. You got to maneuver through this. And always take care of the business, man. For real. I like when people come to me and they respect what I got going on. They don't play about it, because Just like it's some people that's about their stuff, it's some people that will play around with your business too. And you have to most definitely stand firm with them. Don't play with my time. Don't play with my money, because that's exactly what you're doing. Because I'm a full-fledged artist out here in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
Full-fledged artist. On top of being the business owner of my studio and the engineer.
Wow.
So when you book my studio, I'm recording you. So don't play with that time, because I probably just got off of a flight, or I probably got to catch a flight in a couple hours, or I probably have a show later on today, or I probably just got off of a show. Not to mention me having to be a father. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that you're standing firm and taking care of that business at all times.
Wow. So fatherhood.
Yeah.
You were telling me that you got a few kids.
Mm-hmm.
So how has fatherhood changed you, like, for the better?
Made me realize it's not all about me. It stopped being about me October 1st, 2010. It stopped being about me. Real. My daughter's about to be 13 this year, my oldest. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had her young, you know what I'm saying? But I'm at the same time, I'm glad I did that, because it made me have to really start paying attention to what's going on around me at an early age. Mm-hmm. Man. I noticed some people don't have that same responsibility, and it gives them a little bit more freedom than they should have, and they end up in situations. You know what I'm saying? So just thank God that I had met Andre Harrell at the time when, you know what I'm saying, my first child was conceived, and we had everything going on that we had going on, and the label was there. But still, I still had to man up. And when the first falling apart of Hamilton Park happened, I had to stand on business and go out there and feed my family for myself. I would not have been able to do that if I hadn't went through those rigorous artist development phases and had those understandings of, you know what I'm saying, what it really takes to govern yourself and be disciplined in what you need to do at the time, and stop thinking that everything is just supposed to be handed to you and gifted to you. You know what I'm saying? So that goes back to that question that you asked me. What did I learn in the group? As soon as life started happening, and once the glitz and the glamour was snatched away for the first time, because I like talking about that shit, man. I love talking about that shit. Once that happened for the first time, man, I had to go ahead and get a couple jobs. You know what I'm saying? On top of going back to what I knew, you feel me? Just being in the street for a little bit, I was working at Dollar General. You know what I'm saying? I was doing construction and whatnot. And that time I worked at Dollar General, man, taught me something too. Because that was my experience of people seeing me on TV and people seeing me in a high place, but not understanding, you know what I'm saying, like somebody just put you there, because that's how some people think. Like, oh, somebody just put you on TV. You didn't work for that, because now here you are bagging my groceries. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I used to get that question all the time. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be? What's going on with your music? Shouldn't you da-da-da? You know what I'm saying? So, man, been through a lot, but learned a lot. And that's why I'm in the space that I'm in now. Humble and very focused. Nothing's going to get me off my square, man.
Okay.
At all.
Now, with these kids, like, are there any of your children that are showing promise to be entertainers?
All of them. Oh. In their own way. All of them. My oldest, she plays saxophone. She's very popular. She has a lot of friends. She's a trendsetter. She's always, I know she's a fashionista. She's always cutting and drawing on her shoes and just doing different things and experimenting there. My son, he loves the microphone. He loves to be in charge. He loves to be seen. He loves to speak. He loves to speak to people. He's not afraid to run up and say, hey. We was walking down the street the other day when I had him, and he was just telling some girl that said had a good day, tell him to have a good day. He was like, I love you. And I was like, that's not what you say to random people, son. But all he knows is love. Yeah. Because he gets love every day. Yeah. So that's what he hears. Have a good day. I love you. So and my daughter, my youngest, I have two daughters and a son. My youngest daughter, she can't stop moving. Every time I see her, she's always dancing, doing TikToks and whatnot. And she's about to be 4 this year. So I'm just enjoying that fatherhood, and I'm enjoying being an independent artist in the aspect of my life coincides with theirs. Yeah. I'm in charge. You know what I'm saying? I'm not and you know, when the opportunity comes that I'm going on tour and I'm gone for an abundance of time versus maybe being gone for 3-4 days like I'm usually gone, but I'm always able to come back and get them, and we sit back and order pizza and we just eat and binge watch whatever they want to watch. It's a perfect balance for me.
Just spending that time. Now,
yeah.
Have you ever put your or do you ever plan on putting your daughter like on one of your songs, having that sax, you know, that heavy sax on the song?
I just, you know, I be experimenting with my daughter, man, because I know that when I was at that age, I had the urge, but I was real shy, and I see that in her too. So I think I just try to leave it more on the natural side. My daughter, I think, what was it? It's coming up on two years ago. She interviewed me on YouTube for Father's Day. Yeah, she had set up her own backdrop, so to speak. You know, I helped her with the lighting and the camera and everything, but she came up with her own questions and she interviewed me. So, and you know, with her doing things like saxophone and stuff, and I know she's young and is still developing, but you know, I feel like there might be something there. But you know, I'm definitely watching my little itty bitty ones. You know what I'm saying? Because not only that, we could all do YouTube together. You know what I'm saying? Because social media is a whole different animal these days.
Yeah.
I see a lot of families just coming together, just, you know, posting on YouTube, getting that bag off the YouTube, but just being themselves on there.
Yeah.
My children love watching that type of stuff.
It seems real genuine for a lot of people who have big close families.
Right.
It seems familiar.
Exactly.
For those people who don't have the families,
right,
they're seeing something that they long for.
Exactly.
So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So before we wrap up, thank you for this amazing,
can we talk?
Smooth cognac. So how did this come about?
Okay, so I've been really stepping out on faith all year, man. I've been you know, taking shows in places that I haven't been in a long time and just really going out on limbs. I found myself up in Brooklyn, New York on a rooftop. When was this? I think this was back in May.
Damn, a New York rooftop summer.
Yes. Woo. It was awesome. The show was amazing. It was a fashion show. I probably had a 15-minute set, you know what I'm saying? I put the show together myself and, you know, just took the booking and went up there. You know, they took care of everything, took care of my flight. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Reginald, and shout out to Miss Rose. She definitely took care of me, man, while I was up there. But they booked me and I went up there and did the show. And after, I guess, you know, I guess nobody knew what to expect when I got on stage, because I'm just real humble when I go to performances like that. You know, I show up, I put out my promo work, because I'm an independent artist. You know, shout out to my team too. You know, I don't go places by myself. We go into small collectives, no more than 3 of us. But you know what I'm saying, we step out, and everything that I seen done on the Scream tour, I just have my team do. You know, prior to us performing at whatever venue we was at on the Scream tour, you know, they would make sure that they passed out promo. I would always, because all I knew was by the time I got on stage, everybody in their hand had a Hamilton Park flyer. If they didn't have a Hamilton Park shirt already, they knew where to go get one, and they knew that we were about to perform. So I took that and I molded my team around that. So whenever I'm going to intimate venues or bigger places, you know, I want my team to go in there first, put the promo situation down, make sure that you cover the whole scene with Chris Voice flyers, and make sure people know what's about to happen. And then we're going to go in there, we're going to do the show. So by the time I got off stage, I was met with probably about 3-4 cell phones. Just people hey, talk to this person, talk to this person. Mind you, we're in New York. So just, hey, I got this person on the phone right now, on the phone now. So pick up the phone one time. It's a guy by the name of Joe Curry. Of all places, he's all the way back down here in Atlanta. Had to go all the way to New York to connect with somebody back down here already, right? And he was telling me about Revanche. He was a representative, and he was like, look, they're going into a space to where, you know, they're looking for influencers, and they want people to really just, you know, they're looking for energy, and they just want to just be in a space to where they're going into a promotion space. So with me already telling y'all who I am and how I am and how I stand on business and how I'm disciplined and I'm going to govern myself, I understood the assignment. You know what I'm saying? I set up a photo shoot for myself. I bought a couple of bottles, took pictures, sent them in, and infiltrated the ranking and found the CEO and found the creative director and found those people. Shout out to Wendy, by the way, and shout out to Miss Gigi. Found those people and just, networked with them and told them about myself and told them about what I'm trying to do with my own particular brand. And they looked at how I carry myself and they looked at how it coincides with the cognac. And it just made sense, man. So I say all that to say, you need to go get you a bottle of Revanche in your liquor store. If your liquor store does not have it, you need to make sure that you tell your liquor store to buy Revanche. Made in France. That's where all the top alcohols come from. They're imported. It's not American. It's French. Even the title, Revanche, is French for revenge. And what people... Right. Now see, understand. With me, when I heard that, I was like, okay, because I'm not done out here. I'm not done out here. So I'm definitely going to get behind this here. Revanche. Seek revenge.
Revanche and Powerhouse. Gonna show them that logo on that cup.
Yes. Powerhouse. Y'all tap into the merch too, man. I got merch. I got shirts, dad hats, hoodies, Powerhouse recordings, everything. And Chris Voice, everything too, man. Anything you can think of. I got the koozies. I got sweatpants. Like, we just going crazy out here, man. We just trying to make sure that people know who Chris Voice is and people know how to support.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys support him. So, like, as we wrap, what is something that you want the people to know about Chris Voice? The music, the man, the brand, the entertainer, the father, the actor, whatever. What is it that you want the people to know about Chris?
I want y'all to know that I'm here to stay. I'm not going nowhere. I want y'all to know that I got a lot more in me. You haven't seen nothing yet. It's just the beginning. And I want you to come with me. Follow me at Real Chris Voice and come on this journey with me. Come along. Just like how they was running with Forrest Gump in the movie when they saw that vibe. It was like, hey, we like what you're doing. We're going to run with you.
Yep.
Come with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise you, I'm leaving the door open for everybody. Everybody who I rub up against, and if it makes sense for us to be working together, you're going to have my phone number. If it makes sense for us to be performing together, you're going to be able to contact me. That's how I want it to be. Full exposure. Everything I got going on, man. I want y'all to know that I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be doing anything else. This was put in me from the ground up, literally. I grew up off of 5 Heartbeats, Temptations. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the church singing, so it makes perfect sense for me to be doing this. And especially the vibe and I'm really confident in my show right now, man. I'm so confident in my show. I know for a fact that it's astounding with the people that I've come in contact with and the resources that I've gathered. I feel like my show is almost reminiscent to the Ringling Brothers at this point, because I can make anything happen. And that's just how I feel, man.
Okay.
Chris Voice. Appreciate y'all having me.
Make sure you guys follow him on social media.
Yes.
Make sure you download, stream, share, purchase the merch, the music, everything that he has going on. And I appreciate you again for being here. Appreciate Revanche for being here as well.
Oh, yes.
Because Q is feeling real good right now.
We about to sip some more because Revanche is still in the building,
exactly.
as you can see. Right, we ain't done yet.
Yeah.
But I'm just one more time, I want y'all to tap in at Real Chris Voice on Instagram, Facebook, Chris Voice. I'm always posting reels and covers. I love to sing, so if you want to hear any record, please tap in with me, put it in my comments, and I'll get it right back to you right away. I record myself, so it's nothing. I'm at your service. You need anything, a jingle, anything, tap in with me, man. I want to make sure that we work with each other.
There you go. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to BLK Talk and this amazing conversation with Mr. Chris Voice. Make sure you guys support, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all of that good stuff. And we'll be back with another great episode of BLK Talk.